And starts, well, at the end. Hey everybody, welcome back to Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach. Crazy Caps here, and well, Freddy's having a good old time, isn't he? So, last time we did a bit of a collectible hunting, and this episode's sort of a continuation. We're gonna find the rest of the messages, we're gonna find the rest of the presents, we're gonna find all the retro CDs we missed. First, the messages and the CDs, though. But before any of that, I need to say something. This is post-commentary. As you saw with the last episode at the end, with the BB World game, the audio was just missing. But it was only like 5 minutes of the video. Yeah, most of it's missing with this one. Well, the first half of the final video. And it's annoying. It sucks. I don't know why it happened. I don't know why. Like, there's no explanation. And I see that, and it's very surprising there. Because I think, oh, comedy bot speaking. That's not supposed to happen. I do need to explain this. Yeah, I don't know why, but the audio is missing for a lot of this, so I'm doing post-commentary. I've already edited the video, mostly. That way, and I'm watching it as I do this. That way I can commentate, And so we'll see how this goes. I have not done post-commentary in forever. So, we'll see how I do edit here, but, yeah. So I already did this, and I do want to explain that this video is actually a little unusual. These were originally going to be 2 different episodes, but I ended up cutting out so much from the first one that I was like, I can put these 2 together. So you'll see at a certain point I say see you next time, and then I think I'll probably have text that says lol no. But yeah. Now, to the actual video. This comedy bot, we've been in this area so many times. It's the first time we've seen it. There's 2 possibilities. Either, for whatever reason, they deliberately made the decision to where you can only trigger this after you do the Balloon World game, after leaving, and you're only going to see the subtitles after you exit. I'm not sure who made that decision, if that's the case. Or it's a glitch. Because it's really weird that the lines just only play here. And considering it's security breach, it makes a lot of sense that the lines would only play here, like, as a glitch. And the lines are actually pretty interesting to me, because, like, they're sort of funny. Like, a lot of them are just overtly trying to sell you something. Like, that is such a Fazbear Entertainment thing to do. Like, I like that sort of humor. There's a bit too much time between each joke for it to really, be a fun thing to continuously watch, I think. But yeah. I'll sort of let you just enjoy the jokes, I guess, for the rest of this, because Lord knows I'm gonna have trouble talking throughout this whole thing.
Aren't parents the worst? Any of you kids have parents? Don't you hate it when your parents take you somewhere fun then abandon you? They're all like, I guess if I dump little Jeremy off at his favorite pizzeria before I move to Aruba, that makes me a good parent. Closing line. Did you ever notice how people are so obsessed with delicious mouth-watering pizza? They're all like, hey, I would love some delicious mouth-watering pizza. I bet a few of you are just thinking the same thing. Am I right? Robots cannot eat delicious mouth-watering pizza. We just go around saying beep boop. Am I right? But seriously, folks, enjoy your visit and enjoy your delicious mouth-watering pizza. Next show in an unspecified number of minutes.
The next show will begin in 5 minutes.
Alright, I'm listening to the video on mute. I think that's where Dread Unit said something. If I'm wrong, you'll know, but I'm doing this on mute so there's no echo, so I don't feel like putting my headphones in for this, because it's just post-commentary. So now we leave, and here's the beginning of our little journey. So, first, like, I've checkmarked all of the messages. The first one we missed is here in the daycare bathrooms. And this one, let's read it. Customer complaint. My son never had sleeping problems, but after spending an evening in the daycare, he refuses to sleep with the lights on anymore. He just cries and cries. And then when I do let him keep the lights on, he wets the bed. Which obviously is speaking to our experiences in the daycare. Very accurate, very accurate. I could very much see son scaring the crap out of kids. Don't know why they made the animatronic like that. It's a little weird. Now we're on one of the first retro CDs we missed, and there's also a message here that we're going to cut to after this. And yeah, I looked these up, no shame in it, just because so many of these are just in annoying spots. Especially this message. Like, I don't know if I would have ever found this message without looking it up, but let's read it. Let's read it. Retheme. The bowling alley needs a retheme. While most of the body art was removed, kids keep asking, where's Bonnie? Do we have an officially approved response? Well, to our knowledge, no. Bonnie definitely seems to be one of the main mysteries of the game. Let's get to this next retro CD. Yeah. A part of the reason this ended up being so much shorter than I originally thought is just because how quickly I cut between these. I cut out way more than I thought I would, and just for the record, this video is going to be about a little over an hour. This originally, all of this together was like 2 hours plus. Same thing with the last episode, but for this one, I just combined the two together because the end of the first one's like 30-minute. Like, it's something around the 30-minute mark. And I was just like, I can fit these both together, especially since I've been doing hour-long episodes in the series. Oh, by the way, this is a fun little thing I just left in because you call Freddy and he's just running around, like, not to you, and then this happens. I find it funny that he just starts running while you're in him. That's just hilarious. And that's on our way to our next retro CD. You can see it's going very, very fast. It's hard to talk about each individual thing here. Hopefully, I should have more time to talk once we get to a certain part of this episode. Because there is stuff I want to talk about with Security Breach, my thoughts on the game. You know, because I haven't really had a chance to talk about those, and I don't really talk about them in depth in this episode. But for now, another message. And what does this one say? Understudy. With Bonnie out of commission, we are making Monty the new bass player. Parts and Service has already done the proper adjustments. This could be a good thing. Monty could be even more popular than Bonnie. Now, just gonna say, the thing with Grandma Bonnie is also another like little mystery. It has not that much relevance to the main plot. At least we don't have anything indicating it does. But the big question is, you know, did Monty, you know, damage Bonnie so he could take his place? Because the last place Bonnie was Gator Golf. That could be it. Bonnie could have seen something with Fanny. No, we don't know. And there's been a bunch of theorizing by other people who, you know, do that thing. And I don't know. Hopefully some of the DLC touches on that. Because we know this game is going to get DLC because Steel Will's already said that. Plus there's a lot of indications in the actual game with the level 10 doors, with, you know, all the unsolved mysteries. There's a lot that DLC could do, and I look forward to it. After they fix the game, there's going to be a patch, well, actually, by the time this video comes out, that patch will already probably be released, and I'll probably go back to the game when that patch comes out, just to see what the game's like. I'm also just curious, because one of the things they said they'll fix is, you know... Actually, I don't know if they specifically said they'll fix the Save Pass 6 glitch. I assume that's going to get fixed. Oh, also like this. Oh,
we cannot enter together.
Freddy doesn't want you to enter together because that'd be cheating. I don't know exactly how that'd be cheating. But okay. Yeah, you can see how the video's just sort of flying by as we get more and more of these collectibles, these retro CDs. And it's just flying by. It's just got that one, on to the next one. And this one, just real quick, real easy. I think this is in Chica's bakery area. It's an area that's completely optional, which we'll get to that. We'll get to that. There will be a point to where we can talk more freely when the video is not so fast-paced. We're actually about to be there, I believe, because the 11-minute mark. Here we got another retro CD. By the way, I don't know why in some parts of Let's Play I call them Showtime discs. I don't know why I did that. I'm a weird person. And here we're finally at the part where I'm going to be able to speak more freely in a little bit. So I do want to elaborate on this little chips bit. This is a very glitchy part of the game. Same way with the Salads and Sides event. For one, especially going here past, you know, like, on your second time, you know. Like, if you go to the Salads and Sides thing on your first, you know, run through the game, and then past 6 you go here, things can get weird. But just in general, this place is weird. You cannot bring Freddy here, and like with the Salads and Sides event, there's a glitch that can happen to where if you enter, you might not be able to summon Freddy afterwards, leaving. Or you might not be able to enter him. If you find a way to enter him, you might not be able to get out. It's a really annoying glitch. And you'll see there's a lot of fun glitches. But before there, and as we get these collectibles, I do want to talk a bit on my thoughts of the game. And the glitches. And like, I will say the glitches got way worse during the post-game. During the main game, they weren't that bad. But I had a lot of fun experiences during the post-game, and you'll see some of them later here. But they need to be fixed. There's a lot of them. Some of them are like kind of embarrassing how they got into the game. I still don't know how just pressing the jump button as you hide in Freddy. Oh, by the way, last message. Night shift. Of course, I got stuck in the arcade. Every time I exit the security office, I get locked out. If it's not my low clearance level, then I need a stupid party pass. I'm on the security team. I shouldn't have access to everything, I swear. Those things are messing with me. This place is not safe. Give me my $100 and I'll go. And that speaks to another lore thing I want to talk about in a bit. But in terms of my thoughts on the actual game, I actually kind of loved it. It was a lot of fun. I love the environment, I think, is the big thing. Exploring this map is so much fun. Playing the minigames, I love Gator Golf. I love playing laser tag, even though I was really bad at it my first time. And when the game lets you sneak around, it's a lot of fun. I wish this game made sneaking more integral. The game's a little easy, honestly, and encourages an aggressive playstyle too much. To where you just run past everything and it works. I'm not a fan of that. I'm not. I wish the game was a bit more punishing. And I've heard so many people complain about the staff bots being annoying, being too much. I think it's actually the opposite problem. To where the staff bots are so toothless in so many parts of the game, to where they'll call for an animatronic, but one won't come. If one does come, they take a while. You know, I mean, with Chica it can be annoying but that's because Chica does some bullshit teleporting.
You have a choice to make. You are staying. I am.
The staff bots just
Here.
aren't punishing enough for them. They can't kill you, which I think is a good thing, considering how many there are. This game would be impossible if they killed you. maybe for a hard mode or an extreme mode, have them have something to where they kill you, but something needs to be done to make the staff bots like a little more imposing. But also not having the animatronics teleport behind you, especially with Chica, to where she can teleport like a gajillion times after you run past the staff bot. It's kind of ridiculous. That's probably my biggest issue. Also, certain aspects of the game just feeling inconsistent. The game, information-wise, like giving you information, it is horrible. The game's mission clarity, and also just the fact that the tutorials sometimes just tell you misleading information. At the beginning of the game, when it tells you that, you know, so many things, like when Freddy runs out of power, he can't help until the start in the next hour. That's only true for that beginning part of the game. After that, that's not how he works. There are times where Freddy will say that he marked something on your map. He doesn't. You know? Stuff like that. It's just really stupid. Oh, also a great one at the escape at 6 segment. It says get to the recharge station, even though you can't. Like, so many dumb things like that, and then the mission clarity is bad, the map is worthless. It's very easy to get lost and confused in this game, and I've seen Let's Players, it's clearly happened. The game's a little too broken, too, to where, like, it's very easy to mess up the game. And that needs to be dealt with. Yeah. The actual core game is a lot of fun. If they patch some of this stuff out, if they can make some improvements, they got a really great game here. Story-wise is a bit weird. I think the first half of the game is actually pretty compelling. There's a lot of interesting mystery set up. You have just a lot, you know, of interesting stuff happening. You have the attempt to escape, the failure of that, and trying to get Freddy fixed. Like, all that's great, but as soon as you do the first upgrade with Freddy, the story just completely focuses on decommissioning the other animatronics. Vanny disappears from the story. Vanessa disappears from the story. And none of the mysteries that are established in the first half of the game are really, you know, solved. The basic escape ending gives you the fact. Oh, by the way, I glitched the game here. You're supposed to be stuck in there doing a game sequence, but I ran out, and yeah, I messed it up. And I proceed to mess it up more because I get curious. It's like, well, you can go in here through the vent. What happens if you do that? And I lock myself in there. Just saying that now, so I can talk freely. Now, I actually have way more to talk about than I thought I did. Where was I this story? Yeah, this story just ends up not doing much in the second half of the game. It kind of disappears. The interactions between Freddy and Gregory just, they're not enough. Because what's there, I do really love. One of my favorite parts of the game is Gregory, Freddy, their relationship, their interactions, everything with them. I really like these characters. But they don't interact enough about things during the second half of the game. And I wish they did more of that. In general, I wish the story in the second half of the game was, you know, more fleshed out. Especially with the Afton ending, to where so much was left unexplained. I wonder if that's intentional, because it is Five Nights at Freddy's. It's famous for being very vague and only giving you small pieces. Because they want the map pats to do all their crazy theories about how Gregory's a robot, which I don't buy that, but that's FNAF, but it doesn't work for me when you're doing a game like this. When the game is very simple gameplay, when it's like an hour long if you're good at it, and when it's very simple, that's a different beast. When it's like that's okay in that sort of game. When is this sort of game to where it's like a 10-hour plus adventure, I need more than that. I need more than that. This game doesn't deliver. Hopefully the DLC delivers a bit more. Also, of course, clearly the game was changed a lot prior to launch, and here's me trying to flip in nail chips, and I fail at it this time. But we tried through a different way, and it works that time. You'll see that now. But yeah. Man, I keep getting off topic. I feel like I just turned this into my review of Security Breach video, because I'm not going to make a review of Security Breach video, but we're doing it. The story, I want more. And in terms of everything else, like I said, they got a real solid game here. The information telling is bad. The glitches are bad. There's some really annoying gameplay sequences. Well, most of this is solid. The performance and the stutters and all that stuff needs to get sorted out as well. And the PS4 version I've seen video of, and that I am sorry to anyone who plays this game on the PlayStation 4. So sorry. It looks like a nightmare in terms of how bad that version of the game is in terms of performance. But that needs to be sorted. But the music is good. The graphics are, for the most part, good. Some of the textures get a little crusty, even on higher setting levels, but like the sound design, the music, the actual gameplay. There's a lot of fun to be had here, and there's a lot of neat little secrets. Like, the other thing I need to talk about is how much does seem to have been left out of the game. Apparently there's supposed to be 9 more holes in Monte Golf. Apparently you're actually supposed to be able to play the Chica game, but you can't. And it's just weird. It feels like there's stuff that's not here that's supposed to be, because like they leave messages and indications of these cut features. Another thing is at the beginning of the game, Freddy says those utility tunnels connect everything in the Pizzaplex. That's not true, but apparently that was supposed to be true. Yeah. So overall, they have a great game here, but they need to finish it. And I look forward to coming back on the DLC, and I'll probably try speed runs and stuff. Like, I'm not done with this game after this part. You're going to see that speed run video, and that's going to be very interesting, I think. But, yeah. Back to the main topic here, because something fun's about to happen again. Speaking of those glitches, I just walk over here and this happens. I think this is because this is the area where the game activates the trigger for not being able to use and call Freddy, but since you walk into it with Freddy, you get whatever this is. You get to see what Gregory looks like when he's in Freddy. Did I just say Freddy? When he's in Freddy. Yeah. Fun. Very fun there. Now, I want to talk a little bit about the lore stuff, because it's speculation. I do like, because the message we got a little bit ago, you saw how it was talking about, the employees quitting. And there's a few messages throughout the game of employees quitting. And I think the idea is that Fazbear Entertainment is trying to toss them. Trying to get rid of the employees to replace everyone with stat bots except Vanessa or Fanny. Because we also learned that Vanessa was recommended from the top. So Fazbear Entertainment is trying to help Fanny or Vanessa or whoever at the top is. We don't know who that is. I'm not going to speculate here about who that is, but that's a very interesting question that I don't think enough people have been asking, is who recommended Vanessa for the position of security guard? Who? Is it someone else controlled by a glitch trap? Or not? A lot of fun mystery there. You also got the arcade conspiracy guy, who there's tons of main logs from him throughout the game. And I presume the area, like with the Balloon World game, and where you see his final message, I assume that's where his hideout was. And he was trying to figure out the secrets of the arcades, and he was kind of going a bit crazy, I think. At least that's the impression I got. And of course he was fired. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it in terms of the lore, and I might have just ran out of stuff to talk about, my thoughts on the game. I'm sure there's stuff I forgot, because this is completely unscripted. I'm doing this, what is it, 2:38 p.m., which sounds normal except for the fact that most of these security breach videos were recorded between 3 a.m. and like 7 a.m. So this is a bit of a weird time for me to be doing this. You can probably tell I'm talking louder. Yeah, well, you know what? Good timing, because I see on the timeline we're coming up to when the live commentary restarts. This is going to be where we find out that oh man, I haven't even talked about this. The retro CDs, I think there's 2 that are in this area. That's why I've been here so long. And they're not. And this is where I find it out. This is where the live commentary comes back in. So, see you later. No, back to the live commentary. The hunt continues, as apparently there was a patch released fixing the issue where the retro CDs were here, where you're not supposed to be able to go. Wish I knew that before going here. I see one in the distance. Freddy's low on power, so I'm gonna have to stop using him. Because I need him to clip out of here. I could probably clip here. Where's Roxy? He sounds really near. First. I know there's at least one more. I want to get that before exiting. And because of the way I had to get in here, I think I'm going to look up a video to make sure I'm not missing any presents here. Because I didn't exactly get in here with the most legitimate means. I don't think that's not fair. I think this is the entrance. As long as I don't go over there, I should be fine. I'm not risking that. It's not worth it. Okay, I think I have everything here. So it's time to clip out. Now, I'll be frank, I'm not sure where the last CD is. Apparently it was moved to somewhere. I think it might be the maintenance tunnels. So we're gonna go there. We're gonna end the episode off with listening to the retro CDs. Oh, Lord, there's no time to do that. We'll do that next time. It's either in the tunnels or it's in the main stage area. Problem is, I don't know what part of the tunnels. So this is going to be a bit of a exploration game again. I think it might be in this area. I don't know why you bothered, Freddy. It's already been taken care of. Yeah, none of you seem to have a CD. If not, it's apparently the Rockstar Row entrance. I got this, I swear. I'll continue looking in the maintenance tunnels for now, but I'm pretty sure I have these. The ones that are here. I swear if it's here. Oh my god, finally. See y'all next time on Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach. Hey everyone, welcome back to what might be the final part of Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach. Because I think there's actually a chance that the only collectibles I'm missing are either something that's like right here in all chips, which I don't know that there is, but apparently there are 2 missable collectibles in this game. We saw earlier that I got the one in the daycare through a glitch, but I think alright, I want to make sure I didn't bug anything out here. Yeah, I did. Okay, so the one we're missing is in Fazer Blast. Of course, you can't go back to Fazer Blast, so we're going to have to cheat our way back in there. And once again, I am certain I got this, but it must have been on an attempt that was not a winning one, which is the reason for this. So we're gonna glitch into Fazer Blast, and I think there is a pretty good chance that this is actually the only collectible I am missing in the whole game. the only one. And if that's the case, then we're going to get that. We're going to listen to the retro CDs, and we're going to do a speed run of this game. And that should give us all 29 achievements, and that should give us 100% completion. Aw, you couldn't let me just fall through? Eh. I want to. I've started to kind of like doing this. Alright. So see you all in a Phaser Blast. So I looked at the guide and it was very, very specific. So hopefully this works. Where did I land? Not where I want to be. Oh, I landed like far out of bounds. Oh, son of a bitch. Well, this might take a few tries. That loaded in really fast. I have one idea that might help. It's just turning up the settings. Making it take longer to load. So I'll put it to maximum. And clearly I need the game to load slower, so hopefully this helps. Whoa. Inputs, like, what? Honestly, this isn't performing as horribly as I thought it might. God, this is not helping. Can't even get back. For a second here, I'm going to try and do this the normal way. If there even is a normal way. The input is like super laggy. Jump scare was a high frame rate though. I mean, now I'm stuck with these visual settings. is kind of neat seeing the game on Ultra. Oh my god. Even at 1440p on Ultra, it gets to 60 sometimes. That's kind of nuts. Maybe I should have been playing on Ultra this whole time. I don't know. I guess it depends on what exactly is being demanded here. Alright. Wow, that was really easy. Hold on, is that door open now? Oh. Okay. We're back in. I don't know if we're gonna be able to get back out, but... Really? They must have patched it, because these used to be missable. I mean, I don't think this is a legitimate way of doing this. Hey, that was the last one I needed. I got that on recording, right? Yeah. The game seems like it's barely staying together while I'm down here. Maybe I can get back out? This is the winner's elevator. Oh. I don't think the winner's elevator works. Well, the exit seems to be open. Come on. Come on. So that's everything then. Oh my god. I'm pretty proud of myself for that. So now, we gotta listen to those CDs. And after that, we're gonna try and speedrun this game. Now it's gonna require moving our save files and getting live split and all that shit, but we'll see how it goes. Alright, we're here. Let's listen to the last, well, let's listen to most of these tapes.
Good morning, Vanessa.
The
Let's
rest
jump
of
right
them.
in, shall we? I got a message last night about you, and I have to be honest, it was upsetting. Apparently, the IT department has put together a pretty lengthy report chronicling non-job related communications that have been coming to your computer. The fact that you're still doing something obviously not work-related on the job is disturbing enough. But what bothers me about what I read is that the messages you're getting seem very manipulative in nature. Do you know who I'm talking about?
I get a lot of messages from friends. I like when Lewis writes to me. He's funny.
I'm not talking about Lewis. You know who I'm talking about. Why won't you open up about it? What you might not know is that this person who's been sending you messages has been hacking into your personal files too. These are the same files I have here. These files are full of details about your life. Do you know what that means?
I'm not in the tech department. I just type on the computers.
I know that. But what matters here is that this person who is contacting you knows a lot about you.
Lots of people know more than I do. Sometimes I need to listen.
Seems like Vanessa is a very submissive individual.
Good morning. It's good to meet you. I've read your file, so I'm up to speed on what you and your previous therapists have worked on. Sure, you can have a candy. I'll have one too. You look chill sitting there like that. Not a care in the world, huh? All right. Well, I'd like to start by talking about your parents. What happened to them and you was tragic. But when I looked through the notes, I didn't get a sense that you've processed that emotionally. When I read your account of what happened, it came across as, well, more of an objective rather than a subjective narrative. Oh, sorry. You don't know what that means, do you? What I mean is that the way you told the story is more like you were reading something from a book than you were talking about your own past. That makes me think you've cut yourself off from it. Is that right? Not sure? Well, I see in your file that you spend a lot of time by yourself and are good at self-dialogue. You know what I mean? Asking yourself questions and getting answers. So maybe you should ask yourself how you really feel about your past. Maybe you should give yourself a chance to really look at what happened and let yourself be upset about it, so you can let it go. Hi, Vanessa. Would you like a candy? Butterscotch today.
No, thank you. Those have 35 calories apiece.
Well, they taste good to me. Okay, I thought we could do something today that will help us get to know one another better. It looks like you've never taken an ink blot test, right? No? Okay. Then I'm going to show you some ink blots, like this one. And I want you to tell me the first thing it makes you think of. Here we go. What do you see here?
A treehouse.
It does look sort of like a treehouse, doesn't it? Do you like treehouses?
I like to sit outside and read.
That's good. Now, what about this one?
A beetle.
Really? Looks like a face to me. That's very interesting. Have you thought more about what we talked about? In our last session, you told me you were sad and scared about what happened to you. I suggested you write down exactly what made you so sad and scared. Did you do that? You know, I work with people of all ages, from little kids to the very elderly, and everyone reacts to tragedy differently. Tragedy always leads to a feeling of loss. It's a hole that feels funny, right? Yeah. So, if you could process those feelings, how do you think it would affect your fantasies? Would you keep them in the way they are? What are you doing? Oh, you like those? I do too. They smell so sweet, don't they? Apparently, the janitor on this floor has a garden and has been putting bouquets in the offices here for years. Do you ever grow things? No?
I work a lot.
I know you do. Maybe more than you should. More free time would do you good. Do you have a hobby? No? Perhaps we could find one for you, like a sport. No? I have a craft space in my basement. Maybe I could come up with something you could learn to do.
I don't like dark basements.
I'd say make yourself comfortable, but I think you already are. It looks like you could take a nap. That's a nice chair, isn't it? According to these message logs, you've been working pretty late over the last couple of weeks. Or not working. Are you ready to talk about who you're interacting with? From what I can see here, the interaction is getting more serious. Is it distracting you from your work?
My work is important. There's a non-disclosure agreement.
Good morning, Vanessa. Well, I can't blame you for looking out the window instead of listening to me. It's a gorgeous day, isn't it?
I like the blue sky.
So do I. Now, let's see what we can get done on this nice sunny day. Okay, here we go. I know part of your job requires you to do online searches, but a routine audit of your search history has revealed that you're doing a little private searching on company time. Is that right?
I get breaks.
That's true. So, on your breaks, it looks like you were shopping for a costume. You purchased some fake fur material. What are you gonna make? What was that? Did you say the costume is a secret? Why is that?
I can't talk about this. He said he would always be watching. He could be here, or there, or anywhere in between.
Are you talking about your dad? Have those feelings come up again? I hate sounding like a broken record, but this is something you really need to resolve if you're ever going to be happy.
I have. I compartmentalized him. He's locked away.
No, that's not what I mean. You can't just ignore an issue. You have to face your memory of the experiences and process them so you can let it go. So you don't get triggered anymore. You can use a sort of self-dialogue to release these things.
I don't like doing that.
Well, okay. We'll get back to that. I'd really like to know something about this costume. What's it for? I understand you'll be transferring to a different location soon. I'll be sorry to see you go. I think we've been making progress, don't you? You can request to come back and speak with me more on your own time, though. Did you know that? Our sessions don't have to be company mandated. I have all sorts of clients, Vanessa. I don't just work with corporations. I work with individuals and small groups. I even work in schools. I'm wherever I'm needed.
I'm needed somewhere else now. Thank you.
When I'm getting to know a new client, I like to start by finding out directly from them what they like to do. How do you spend all the time you have? Nothing. Well, how do you feel about sports? You like sports? Yeah? No? Oh, I get it. You like to watch them, but not play them. You like being inside, don't you? I get that. Lots of weird stuff outdoors, isn't there? Yeah, I understand. Well, I hate to do this right off the bat, but I've been directed to ask you about this. Apparently, I'm the 4th therapist you've had. And apparently, all 3 of your former therapists have gone missing. Or 2 of them are missing. I don't want to scare you, but I have to tell you that one of them was found dead. That doesn't seem to upset you. Well, then I guess I'll go ahead and tell you that the woman's body was pretty messed up. It looked like it was mangled by machinery. That doesn't bother you either? It's all pretty strange, I think. I'm not clear on the circumstances. Apparently the police don't have any evidence. How does all of this make you feel? Maybe I should be watching my back. Yeah, that's funny, isn't it? Okay, shall we move on to something lighter?
Well, I'll talk after
Do
all
you
these
know
are
a
done.
place called Freddy Fazbear's Mega Pizzaplex? I'll take your silence as a yes. And besides, I know you know it, because the technicians who work for Pizzaplex know you. Or rather, I guess it would be better to say that they think they do. They report that they've caught you on camera, or at least it appears to be you. Nothing to say about that? Well, the techs are convinced that you've hacked into their system many times. Although, I'll admit I don't see any proof here. Seems like they have more of a gut feeling than fact. but apparently the hacks are causing all kinds of problems. You get a kick out of that? The idea of techs running around like chickens with their heads cut off? Yeah, that's a funny image, isn't it? But seriously, I have to say that I think it's weird that you'd spend so much time in such a busy, social place. You seem like more of a loner to me. Lots of time by yourself instead of with friends. Lots of time talking to yourself. Right? Is it the electronics you like? I saw in your file that you have developed software programs that talk to you in repeat phrases, right? The program asks you questions and prompts you for responses. It's kind of like your own self-therapy, isn't it? Another way of talking to yourself to work things out, right? When I saw some of your recent encrypted conversation logs, that's what I thought I was looking at. It felt like I was watching someone go back and forth in their own head. But the text found something that's different than that. When I read what they found, at first, I thought I was looking at more examples of you just talking with yourself. Then I realized it was different. When I study this, it sounds like there is someone else responding to you. Who is it?
I saw some ink blot test results in your file. I like ink blot tests. You want to do one? Yes? Okay. How about this one? What do you see? What? You want to hold it? Okay. You think it's a mask? It reminds you of a mask? Like a disguise? Yeah, I can see that. You like the idea of being disguised? Disguises let you be sort of invisible, don't they? You can get away with almost anything when you're invisible, can't you? Yeah, you like that idea, huh? Well, okay, moving on. I have another report we need to talk about. Apparently, the techs were reviewing communications going in and out of this building, and they came across some interesting things. They say you were in communication with someone, or maybe something. Pretty strange. What do you think about that? Nothing? Well, the techs say it looked to them like it was an attempt to manipulate you, or maybe to lure you somewhere. There, that's better. On this side of the desk, I can see your eyes. The thing is, when I read the communications, I get something different out of them. I don't think you're being manipulated here. I think you're the one doing the manipulating. No comment? Huh? Okay. Then how about this? I have this still shot the techs pulled from the security footage that recorded you in the Pizzaplex. That's you, isn't it? I know this image is distorted, but I think it looks like you. And you're not alone here. You're talking to someone. Or something. It's hard to tell. What are those things? They almost look like rabbit ears. What? You find that amusing? Well, I guess it is. I got another message from the techs at the Pizzaplex. I'm afraid it's about you again. The techs have been struggling to fix some serious glitches with the robots. I'm not sure what exactly is wrong, except that it's making the robots more eerie than entertaining. You like that? Eerie instead of entertaining? Thanks, but it's really not that funny. Apparently, the glitch extended beyond the robots. It went system-wide. It began infecting all the machines, and when the techs traced the glitch back to its origin, it led them to you. I'm not going to pretend to understand everything I'm reading here, but what I get is that the system-wide glitch was like a cascade that was broadcasting a very dangerous message. While the techs were trying to reprogram the system to remove the glitch, the source of the glitch shifted. You'll have to excuse me, I'm not all that familiar with computer programming, so I might get this wrong, but what I understand is that the glitch stopped being a glitch and turned into an intentional set of subroutines that were aimed at creating the same thing the glitch created. Those subroutines seem to have come from you. Can you explain that? Listen, I'm on your side here. Our sessions are just between you and me. The techs can't prove what they think, so you're not in trouble. I just thought you could tell me what you're trying to do. Maybe if we could get to the bottom of that, it could help you. What do you think? Still not talking? All right. Well, then let's do this. Why don't we talk about the research I did in your past, shall we? Some therapists think they should only focus on information they get from their clients, but some therapists, like me, think it's helpful to find out about clients from other sources. Want to guess what I found out when I looked into the tragedy of your past? All that stuff about your parents? You aren't even gonna look at me? Fine. You can look at the floor all you want. But it won't change the fact that none of what you said in your file about your parents was true. The truth is, you had great parents, a great childhood. Why did you lie? Look at me. Tell me why you lied. You... Well, I can understand why you might feel angry about the way I just confronted you. Why don't we come back to this another day? You're shaking your head as though that's not going to happen.
And that's all of them. So, that last one sort of goes against what I was thinking. I mean, frankly, that all of that kind of went against my thinking, because the biggest question mark, and I'm still not sure the game really answers it, is if Vanny and Vanessa are the same person or are two different people that are interacting with each other. And this could still be either of those. I mean, clearly Vanessa is... The thing that is clear this day is that Vanessa was working somewhere that mandated these therapy sessions, and she was communicating with someone who was manipulating her. And for whatever reason, Vanessa is someone who is very, very prone to manipulation, as shown by her past. Who it is that is communicating with her is unknown, but she's definitely involved in some of the stuff that's going down at the Pizzaplex. Now, I'm not sure if the person communicating her is Mr. Afton himself, or Burntrap, or if it is Vanny, perhaps. Perhaps the bunny costume was given to Vanny. I don't know. That is the biggest mystery of this game to me. A lot of me really wants to think they're different people, just because them being the same person seems too obvious, too easy, too convenient. I don't know. But it's a FNAF story. Why am I trying to make sense of it? That was all of those. Now we're gonna try and speedrun this game to get the final 2 achievements. See you in a second.